submit letters of concern, or, yeah, that whole process would be similar.
So do we wanna set that tonight? Or am I hearing that we wanna ask the question?
I think we need to ask the attorney the question on this ambiguity.
Right, like we can't, as you said, if we do it one way, we'll have everybody, it'll be a permittable use everywhere. Whereas, I mean, we are talking about a pretty specific property that was used similarly in the past, and it really doesn't have too many other uses. I'm actually,
One other question, how are you gonna get around the lot size thing?
the lot size thing, is that still on 97?
What, 1 acre? Yeah.
That's what I was reading into. If you go further down, cause it's not, that's specific to a country club or a golf course. And then if you go further,
And it's 1 acre for restaurants on I or L, whatever that is.
yeah. I did see 1 acre. Oh, that was on the top.
L, it's under L. Restaurant to the bottom, oh, yeah, it says minimum lot area shall be not less than 1 acre. That's number 5 on the second
Restaurants
L.
or drive-through facilities.
So,
I think we probably need to table it and, discuss it with the attorney as far as the way it's different in 2 spots, and again, going back to that email where she said that she didn't think it fit what's written in here. I think we need to get her opinion.
Like I said, I think, right, I think she read it the way that you were reading this 65, 502A, and the way that it's written there says these are allowed, and then
you dig in deep.
similar uses including related uses, where the other one says these are allowed, and then also these are allowed including, which, if that's the way it's interpreted, his application would fall under those other.
And my understanding is this commission, we don't have wiggle room for judgment. We have to read
Yeah,
and interpret what's in here, what it says. And so, I mean, that's where the ZBA comes into play, you know, maybe. And I still would like to verify with her, you know, I'm not saying you're wrong, Dave, I just,
Yeah, well, you know, I follow
you
you.
know, just to make sure there was nothing, she said we would look for pre-2006, that, you know.
I think, you know, you said, the planning commission doesn't have wiggle room, some things, maybe not, this, I mean, I agree, maybe have the attorney look it over, that's the safest thing, but, I think like, you guys can put as a special use, you can say, well, okay, but, you do have to put a fence up here because there's a residence next door, or, you know, or the noise, or, so you guys can,
yeah, there's a
tweak a
section
little
before the
bit,
definition
you know,
tells
within
us.
reason.
So like approved with conditions.
Yeah,
Okay.
something like that, so.
So, we need a motion for that? Or just, we're good? We're gonna. I think,
I'm just reading through the application review procedure.
I'd like to see it go to the letters or whatever get sent out.
Because, I mean, I'm reading here and it says a valid application, special land, 9 copies, final site plan, completed application form is provided by the township, payment of a fee determined by the township board from time to time, legal description including permanent parcel property, number, type of property, which statement with regard of compliance with the criteria required for approval in section 1202, which bases a determination. Okay, so I guess that's the step that we're at right now, discussing where it falls under. Shall approve a special land use only upon finding compliance with each of the following standards. Special land use shall be designated construction operated and maintained in a manner harmonious with the character of the adjacent property and surrounding area. Special land use shall not change the essential character of the surrounding area. The special land use shall not be hazardous to adjacent property or involve uses, activities, materials, or equipment which will detriment the health and safety of all. Why did we have to do a zoning ordinance for wind? It was already covered under here from the sounds of it. Anyway, special land use shall not be placed demands on public services and facilities in excess of the current capacity. Special land use shall be harmonious and consistent with the intent of the township zoning ordinance and master plan. And the special land use will not establish a precedence for the development or uses which could adversely affect the long-term goals of the township zoning ordinance or the master plan. Special land use shall be designated to preserve environmental features such as lakes, rivers, streams, floodplains, agricultural areas, and natural areas.
So we'll ask the question.
I think
Like I
based
said,
solely off of where it would fall under a special use. That's already stated. Right.
But to go on with this, like you said, we're gonna have to let the neighboring properties within, I can't, there's a certain distance, I can't remember what it is.
200 feet maybe.
Is that what it is?
I don't know
Small?
if we have.
Either 200 or 300
300,
feet.
I think.
Yeah. could be.
Okay,
Okay.
so, you have to go ahead with that.
Yep.
Definitely.
Well, that wouldn't be until you guys talk to the attorney and determine, okay, he can have a special use,
I
then
don't
you,
see why you can't, but.
yeah, well,
I say we allow just about everything else.
Real good with that,
Stuff
though?
out there.
Right, so we're gonna
Never
table
seen
it and
special
talk to
use
Leslie
action.
on the language. And then, the use variance, if that's an option, or to verify what they've seen, basically. And then, I guess, if she comes back and says, you know, that's not how she reads it, what do we do with the application, you know? Do we still go through the whole process? Again,
if she says you can't do it, I would say he'd get his money refunded, but,
yeah, I mean.
you know, because it's not gonna be a, hearing because according to the attorney.
Alright, so I'm reading further into that procedural this is past public hearing. So we're still, I mean, are we still saying that we're hung up on somewhere in A2? A statement with regard to compliance with criteria required for approval in section 12.2.
Well, we're really supposed to wait, I think, to consider it in conjunction with a public hearing.
No, I think that's what Joe's saying. I think we're outside of
Yeah, it's
Okay.
just.
the information that Leslie says we can't do it. There's nothing in here that says we wouldn't go on with the public hearing notifications, and then that's when that would come up.
So what you're saying, we're down to be,
And the other final approval, especially board
90
approval.
I think 90 degrees, is that what you're on?
Yeah, trying to go through the procedures for special land uses.
I'm not so sure, we have not agreed that it is a valid application.
Well, that's why it says referred to, that's where I'm at, 2E, a statement with regard to compliance with the criteria required for approval in section 1202. So you go to 1202, basis of determination, and you're going through, that's what I was just reading through the whole 1A through G. It's not saying that it has to already be written. I mean, from what I'm reading, just under this procedure, it doesn't say must be a stated special land use previously in ordinance. It's just saying, if you have no reason to be concerned with it, then his special use thing would be party store, tap house, and food restaurant for that property, for that application,
Yeah.
and nobody else in the township.
And no different, somebody wanted to start a new gravel pit somewhere, that goes through the same process.
So instead of us, I think we're getting hung up on saying that we have to have a special use already written, that if we add this in as a special use, everybody has a right to it, whereas what I'm reading under this process says that we can write a special use with type of special use for that property, for this application, and not put it in our zoning ordinance for everybody else.
Right.
So
Why would you
then,
ask that? Go ahead.
then they leave, I mean, it goes back to
Yeah,
just the VFW, all right?
it would go back to its originally zoned, like if he sells it in the future, he can't sell it without that person getting this whole process taken care of as well.
I thought I read somewhere they run with the land.
Yeah,
No.
Well, but I'm also reading this procedure, special land uses, and it doesn't, I am not seeing a spot that says it must be previously listed as a special land use. I think we cover some things as special land uses to avoid this process.
What does the zoning enabling act say, what's the planning enabling act, say? That's why
Right.
you need the attorney. So we're gonna table, and we're gonna contact Leslie as soon as possible, obviously, we don't wanna drag this out. Bill, you do that, obviously, reach out to her.
I'm gonna ask you to put it like a note.
Like, kind of summarize what we're,
Yeah.
I could do that.
I'll copy on my folder. I guess I'm gonna reach out to Leon. Questions, Leon, or comments, I guess?
No, I don't know how this goes. I get one question would be, I don't know, why could you not just, how much commercial properties in Cato Township?
Our zoning map is,
Mainly along 46,
Right along 46.
Well, yeah, we're still trying to get the station open down here where the flag's at.
But that's
So I know I
probably-
got that, but like out in outlying areas, is there a lot of,
It's hit
what
and
would be a
miss.
problem? Cause neighbors have gotta be notified anyway, I realize that, and respect that. But what would be the problem just changing that property to, matter of fact, when I bought it, I just bought it without even thinking, and I thought it was commercial, because obviously it looks like it's a business, cause VFW is a business, it's nonprofit, but it's still a business, right? So, that's my fault, I assume, but what would be, I mean, what do you gotta do to change something to commercial? Would it benefit the township as well to change it to commercial?
We have to change our plan.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
Jim Wood was alive. Mark Pontius was a year behind me in school, knew him very well. Mark he went to Nam. He passed away in 1970. So they built, or late '69, because I was still in high school when it happened. And they wanted to build this. Jim Wood, who is the oldest veteran in our town, probably, and he was involved in that big time because Mark was one of his students. And most of the stuff I'm seeing online is that they had to turn that to a B1 or some zoning segment in order for that to be a VFW home. And so it's probably under, like Brandy said, a special use program, if you guys could ever go back and dig through the archives and find out what that was zoned at, because they just didn't throw it in the middle of it. They couldn't do it. I mean, if Jim Emhoff was still alive, he'd probably tell you too.
I agree with you.
is Jim Wood still alive, isn't he?
Yeah,
Jim Wood's still alive, and he is big in the VFW. He really goes over that stuff, and he might say, you gotta look here, this is what we did.
He's my neighbor. I'll talk to him tonight.
But
I'll
he
put
would
him on
know-
it.
The zoning, like you're asking, Leanne, is, we were told by the attorney that would be considered spot zoning, and I think there's a bunch of other things that hinder our ability to do
Yeah, and
that.
I know nothing about it.
We're all getting educated here.
The way I've been explained to it, I mean, there's still commercial property even across from your gas station. I know owns that property, and then across from McDonald's, that's still all zone commercial. Yes, you can't buy it right now, I mean, but still that's available down the road. There's more parcels, but I know, like he's saying, but Al Snick owned that property, he was a VFW, veteran. And that's where I can see where this came from. He wanted, what explained to me, cause we've got his own place, he explained to me was there was no place in Lakeview to have like a VFW hall, to have bingo, for the veterans to gather, have a big area to do it. That's why they have it there. I mean, the only thing I'm saying, nothing against you, Leanne, at all. I'm just saying the way that I'm feeling by looking at it is there is still, I mean, there's plenty of liquor stores, places to go here that are open right now that are struggling to keep people there. And I mean, Leanne's got the gas station now there, which we're happy to see. It's hard for me to say yes to there on knowing what Brandy's coming back to. The original purpose of that building was for the place for the veterans to gather, cause there's no decent sized place in Lakeview.
But everybody zones, I looked it up online, everybody that puts a VFW in has to do the zone. So there was a zone done to get it there. What is that zone?
Yeah, that's what we don't know.
That's what you gotta figure out.
They're still using the old VFW, they've asked me several times, they let them use it all winter long for cornhole, and they use it for parking out
So
there,
what we're saying is that we don't have a current record of what that's actually zoned as.
Well, I wonder if the VFW people, I mean, they just sold the building, they had to go through some files. No.
Titles and probably some, even, they might be on the deed.
Might be having
Well,
a
the name of
number.
it is here, that's.
Maybe I could reach out to Stacy Roberts.
So I mean, this is all hindering off of us assuming it's agricultural residential, which we would think that it would be, but maybe it's not.
Tax forms,
have zoning codes on
What's
them?
that? I'm sorry?
don't your tax form have a zoning code?
Zoning codes on them.
Yeah.
I don't ever look at that stuff.
You just build them, huh?
I know.
I don't, I guess.
Well, I create a mess.
For me.
Well, we're not saying no, I don't, I'm not to walk out of here tonight.
No, that's fine, you guys have been extremely helpful on this, and, you know, just moving as fast as we can to try to get up here in the community. No, you guys will love it when the store's open up here, that's for sure. And then we start pouring cement on 22nd, so get that covered back up, and then we can keep going forward.
Did you end up buying the Dollar General building too then?
I'm working on it.
I just heard something the other day.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
Story.
Okay.
It'd be nice.
So, yeah, definitely, we definitely wanna table, definitely get more information on both ends.
So more to come there.
Is there anything you need from us in the meantime too?
No, you're,
Yeah, like any other drawings or anything at all, that's fine, cause that chicken scratching of mine is not that
no, you're
good.
very clear with us, and you told us exactly what you're gonna do with it.
Yeah, no.
I don't think, yes. You're good, so.
Well, appreciate your time.
I have one question, not to put it on record, but like where you put the roofing place at Sydney Road and
Yeah.
91, that was a potato shipping facility now originally. Was there any rezoning there that they had to do when you did that building?
No, not at all. No.
Okay, I didn't know, that's just one question, and you know, that's definitely changed the purpose of
So
shipping
I think
bagging
you go-
potatoes. versus-
You go back down that whole line of, okay, what's the line of our process? And I think that was further down of, that's when that starts to become a valid thing, so. I don't want-
We may find that out in a little while, 'cause we're gonna try to apply for a gas station on that corner too, so, we may find something out on that, I don't know.
Yep. No, that's good.
New business,
You guys have a good evening.
yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
We've talked about, setting up a new account just for the planning commission, I guess, discussion about that.
So, yeah, it's just, especially with all the wind stuff, I don't know, with solar, how much more, but it just seems like we should have a central, you know, catoplanning@gmail.com that, at least two of us should have access to it. One for backup purposes, obviously, but I guess I would say that that would go on the website, and if people wanna submit things, research, whatever, that it all goes to that one email. And I guess I would, you know, obviously as secretary, I would be the one monitoring that, but I would also like someone else, probably you, Phil, to have the password and the ability to check that. Somewhere I scribbled down a few notes, but yeah, I mean, it would just be like, yeah.
So I guess just to go through maybe the right hoops, Dave, I guess my ask is that you ask the board just to dot our i's and cross our t's, so we can put it on our website, so it's there. Just another avenue for people to communicate with us as a planning commission. And maybe we wouldn't have had the problem last time with the county sending the information, and they could have, you know, sent it to the planning commission, or CC'd or whatever it may be, so.
Have our own email account.
Yep, just a generic
Yeah.
account, yep, just like they do for the treasurer or the clerk. I mean, they both have a kind of a, not generic, but I mean, it's for the township, yep, so.
Yeah, and I guess if somebody sends something to you directly, if you, don't want that, then you would just say direct
Please
them,
use.
please
So
use
that's-
this
To that
one,
email.
just so we're not getting flooded in our personal.
I think it helps with a FOIA request too,
I think so
you know what I mean,
Yeah.
for sure, if it's sent there, then
Yep.
one thing.
Everybody good, any other discussion on that? So, I don't really think we need a motion for that, I just need to.
Yeah, I'll honestly.
But you want me to wait until we hear from the board, so we create it?
Yeah, you have a meeting next month, and so if you have some questions, so. Just on the wind, I guess, I guess I missed that, didn't I, I'm sorry. From what I've been told from Todd is that, the notice will go in the paper tomorrow. He will post it up on our on the Cato's website, so it's available for the public to view and see and print and read, if you will, so. Just so you all know where we're at with that, and as soon as we get a copy of it that is more readable, I guess, if I can use that term, or,
Understandable.
sent to you, so, or get you a copy so you can update your book. when it
Yeah,
comes
like
to it.
Leslie's gonna have to take this and put it into this format, so we can put it in nice and.
Yeah, so it fits in there right, right now it doesn't, so, but good job on that, I mean, I guess the board had the opportunity to, well, they didn't opportunity, they can review that and make those changes, they did, and so be it, it is what it is, and life goes on, so we'll see where that all goes, but now, that's what it is, and, a lot of work for that, and I appreciate all your work, so.
One quick note on that, I did after they tabled it at our joint meeting, I did continue to get, emails on research and that they were sending to the board, and then it was, please also send us the planning commission. I have those, I didn't forward them on, we were done with it, but if anybody wants those, I'm just gonna document them in the minutes, and if you want
That's fine.
me to forward to you, maybe like 5, so.
You can forward it to me, I'll just read them, yeah.
Okay. It's all from one person.
Master plan, we talked about that, I think we'll have a decision on that here soon, so we can talk about that next, so we can move on that. And then, solar, I'm not gonna do anything with solar tonight.
I have one question. Do we have anything in our zoning with solar in it at all?
No, I don't.
It's not something specific.
It is our belief that there was not a public notice on that,
Okay.
or a public hearing on that, so it's my belief it's null and void, right?
That was-
Rightly said? Yeah.
Well, it's just reading through that, we have a definition and a
Yeah.
spot for it, but there's nothing there, so.
Right.
Should we plan to come prepared to the October meeting to discuss solar? I mean, we were given a starting point, a template to
Yeah,
to
template,
use.
that's what we got,
Should we,
which is,
Well, that's where I'm getting at. If we don't have a current solar ordinance that was voted in, we pretty much have a blank slate that we can start with
That
here.
is true.
right, and we were given a template, we can mark it
Expand
up
on
as
that.
we want,
Yeah.
expand on it, so we're not starting from scratch.
I've had a little bit more experience in the last week about them, so.
So, do you all want it on the agenda and for Leslie to come to help us through that process in October? I just asked.
I mean, do we think we can get it done in one meeting? I mean, I don't think there's a lot really it's not near as bulky as a wind ordinance, obviously.
Well, there's a lot there, but yeah, I mean,
Well, there's nothing there, so.
well, a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
I think
But it'd be,
there's just not a lot to look at, the only thing I ever even noticed on that thing was the 25% coverage of the property, which didn't make sense to me.
But it does make sense, given this push for rooftop solar and stuff.
there's a lot of it happening out there.
Somebody's
Yeah,
gonna
that's
ask for
totally
one.
different than property.
That's where I'm at. We need a solar ordinance to help Dave out with people applying for
And
residential
that's
I
size.
turned 2 down already, and,
You
talked
need
to
it
a
from
solar
a-
company today, wanting to know when it's gonna change, I said, I have no idea, and I've talked to other solar companies, they wanting to do it, people are in the,
You're getting, okay. so-
not for commercial, not for,
Yeah, not commercial,
No, it's for
residential,
residential.
private use.
Similar to the wind, it seems like it all be wrapped up into one, smalls and larges, and then this would be
we got standard building codes right now, so.
I forgot where I heard something about.
So I guess I'm still gonna ask the question, yes or no?
Maybe we should have one meeting first, I mean, she gave us a template, start from there.
Yeah, we don't
I know.
need her here for that.
I'd hate to have her sit here while we're hashing out.
We're not gonna come up with something that's done. I'd say, just go over the solar ordinance as it, with what we got to work with that template and start, just say, picking away at it.
I heard consumers waiting, they're waiting for that day to start, put up some,
Okay, so,
You're talking for residential,
Residential.
no,
the commercial size ones?
Power,
that's just what I heard, I don't know.
you've heard the utility companies, cause we're under a moratorium on that till
Yep, but they're waiting anyway, so they,
The only one I know of right now is one of the Howard.
that was the other thing, Phil, I was with
Yeah,
that
I don't know,
solar
that's not very
moratorium, I was
big.
gonna post that on the website, just so
one in Richland Township.
anybody questions it, they'll see that.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one, but they're not real big though, they're like on 10,
Yeah.
20 acres maybe or something.
okay, so October comes the plan to talk about solar. And Leslie won't be here. We'll consider bringing her back in December.
I think that's a better use of the
The
resources.
only reason to get a hold of her would be, well, on Leon's issue here.
We can communicate some of that through,
Emails,
Yep. a motion to adjourn?
I
Or
said,
is-
I'll make a
Hold on,
motion.
before,
Oh.
just wanna make sure.
My goal's for an hour and I'm over 30 minutes. I'm sorry.
You're 33 minutes over that.
I do have one question. 5 o'clock, for me personally, is getting hard to make, I'm having to take time off work, especially to come here. Could we push it to 6?
I think the 5 o'clock was because we were doing a wind ordinance, and we knew we were having 2-hour meetings. I don't have a problem with 6.
And I do know that a lot of the public likes to come to these and they're working, and, I mean,
Yeah, I have a tough time getting here at 5.
Dave?
we used to do 7,
used to do 7.
so, I mean, 6 gives us a little more time if we're going for solar for the next one.
I'll make a motion that we change the meeting time to 6 o'clock.
I'll second it.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. I just like the 5 just get done with.
I hear
Well,
you,
and
but
I-
I,
It's pushing me too, because I didn't know if I was gonna be able to make it here.
I had paperwork to sign at 4:30.
okay,
So we need to
now I
close-
make a motion to close.
We need to notify the public of that. We're talking.
No,
October,
tomorrow.
November, right?
October.
They just said that they're gonna post it tomorrow.
So we need to,
We'll put that on the,
It should be,
website,
right.
cause right now it says all meetings at 5 o'clock unless otherwise noted.
post that on the window.
Window, website,
Still recording.
meeting time,
Okay.
change to 6 p.m.
Motion to adjourn,
I'll second your motion.
all in favor?